Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. All right, this is the only movie more polarizing than today's political landscape. I'm gonna tell you guys where I think this movie clearly missed the mark, but also how this movie is much deeper, having each character symbolize the debate of political power and how it should be used. Also, the dangers of killing God and religion's role in politics. Much more than meets the eye. Let's do it. Before I get started, spoiler alert, if you guys haven't seen the movie, please go see it first and then come back to this movie. But I'm going to discuss Batman v Superman Extended Cut. Before you guys watch the movie, brace yourself because it's 3 hours long. But I'm going to do this because studios often ruin everything. The movie was made for $250 million, but it grossed over $830 million worldwide and was directed by Zack Snyder. Now, this movie's setup is very similar to Captain America's Civil War. And Civil War, I believe, is a better movie, but the ideas that are wrestled with in Batman v Superman, I think, far exceed it because it's not about the individuals, it is about the ideas and what they represent. All right, an all-powerful villain is set on destroying the world and everyone on it. Heroes step in to save them, even sacrifice their own lives. When the dust settles, everything is madness, everything is crazy, and people are complaining about all kinds of stuff. It's very similar in both movies. And stop me, this also just drove you crazy in Captain America Civil War, where Tony Stark is stopped at the elevator, and this woman's like, yeah, thank you so much for saving me and everyone else on the entire planet, but these villains also killed my son when you guys were fighting, so, hey, forget you. And then Tony Stark goes crazy, and you're like, dude, yeah, bad people are going to do bad things. Like, we can't stop everybody, but you can save the entire world. It's, anyway, the kind of similar things are wrestled with in this movie, but I think this was much more nuanced because it's all symbolic of political power and how it should be wielded. And that is why my critic review is me way higher than what you think. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I know you're like, dude, why are you giving me that good of a review? I'll tell you why. Because the political stuff talked about, the ideas wrestled with, and also the way it's executed is fantastic. I'll get into why the movie also completely missed the mark in the next segment. But as a film, the score was amazing. The directing by Zack Snyder was tremendous. It was well acted, well performed, but the ideas themselves were very deep and awesome. Okay, let me get into it. First of all, each character is symbolic of their ideas of the way power should be used, okay? Different political ideologies, if you will. Clark Kent, Batman, Lex Luthor, and even Lois Lane. Superman embodying Western civilization, capitalism, Judeo-Christian principles, like he is what these things stand for. People oftentimes think that, okay, there's no way you could be that good, and we're going to blame you for all of our problems and issues, but takes it all on himself, always takes the blame, and is like, all right, I'm still going to be here for you guys no matter what. He thinks people should be free to make their own choices, but he should be there for the big problems. If you get invaded by an alien or another country invades you, he's going to be there as your nuclear deterrent. Also, on the very, very small individual bad, tragic cases, he's also there to save the cat from the tree and also the people just from killing themselves. You have these basic rights that he's going to protect you from outside influences and these individual cases one-on-one, okay? Batman represents a very Mad Max libertarian almost, where he distrusts anyone that with power over anyone because he knows men are evil and everyone's corruptible, and at its core, no one is perfect, okay? So because that, he fears any influence, any power over anyone, which is an understandable position to take, and he does this in Gotham. The bad side is, with both these two characters, for one, Superman, without his values and principles or the Constitution or his religious beliefs or, living on these things, he is a tyrant. Like, without those things, those foundations, if he ever is willing to compromise those, he is a tyrant, he's a totalitarian, it's going to be crazy and awful. And in Batman's world, yes, he is there to fight for the little guy. Yes, he will kill the bad guys even when it's necessary. However, and on an individual level, this works. But on a macro, this would not. Sometimes it could lend itself to a very survival of the fittest landscape. And also, this is not going to protect you from the big thing, the extreme cases. Like, his world will not protect you from that. You need that nuclear deterrent in Superman. And so these two heads kind of butt during the movie. Lex Luthor is a little weirdo that thinks nothing is fair and no one should have anything. And so I'm going to take the power for myself. I'm going to be this person because I distrust God, I hate government, I hate everything. Like, I'm going to be this guy. I'm going to be this embodiment. And if that doesn't work, I'm even going to bring my own tyrant in to rule for me, which he does twice in this movie. Michael Knowles put it best when he said that if you scratch any leftist deep enough, you'll find the totalitarian underneath. And they do. Lois Lane plays a tremendous role in this movie as well. Because of this new debate of the Superman, different politicians are throwing out talking points, trying to score points with their base. The media is sensationalizing everything for ratings, putting people against each other, and Lois Lane is seeking the truth and being unbiased for all the nonsense going on to find out what's actually going on in the situation. Is Superman the bad person, or is there something else pulling the strings, making this all worse? And she is that unbiased reporter that finds the truth and gives it out to everyone and is kind of the hero of the whole movie, okay? So basically, she is that truth seeker, like the rebel media, trying to give you the information you need that is unbiased, trying to give you guys the truth. Well, what is great about this is you see that mutually beneficial relationship, that check and balance between Batman and Superman. Batman realizes Superman is necessary, that his values and his principles are needed, his power is needed, but I'm going to be there to keep you in check. You're never going to get too big for yourself. We can't let that government get too big either, because it could potentially be horrible for the entire planet. Superman also appreciates that point of view and understands you're right. You never want to get too big, and yes, you can be there to keep me in check kind of thing. It's great. You need that libertarian, that conservative mesh together. Now, as a movie, we're going to get into kind of exactly what you guys were talking about and why this movie missed the mark. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. Now, a lot of people didn't like this movie, and I'm going to give you a scenario that might change your mind. What if, and I love the guy, but what if Jesse Eisenberg didn't give the worst performance of a supervillain since Jared Leto's Joker? Like, what if you took that Joker or that Lex Luthor out of the movie, okay? And what if you didn't have the studio putting in all these different cameos and all these different movie setups with these crazy scenes that don't really mesh together with the movie? I think you would find a really intricate, well-acted, well-shot political crime drama between Batman v Superman. Like the first half of the movie, even in that fantastic courtroom scene, the great Batman warehouse scene, like all these scenes like together in a more condensed story without so many things going on, I bet it would have been a great movie, right? Unfortunately, it wasn't. Like I'm still gonna give it a 2 out of 4, but you can see where this movie could have been great, and it is still good if you sit back and appreciate all the stuff going on. So I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5 as my viewer review. Now, in the lens of faith, this is pretty fun. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I think Superman is a very clear Christ-like symbol in this movie. That's it. Like I said, for his values, his backstory, being sent to Earth, the people rejecting him, sacrificing his own life to save everyone in this movie. I like also the way that this shows kind of the role of religion and politics in the movie, and also someone that is honorable and seeking the truth, like Batman and his relationship he has with Superman, because he does not believe in Superman. He does not trust Superman. He doesn't fall back on Superman, but he appreciates the principles and the way that he lives his life. He thinks the principles and the values, what he represents, what he stands for is necessary, and he appreciates those and protects those, even though he doesn't necessarily believe in those. I think it's a good example of the way the government should be run, that relationship between it. You don't want to force people to believe in Superman, no. But you understand that these values and principles are necessary and very important. It's very much like common law being based on the Bible and Judeo-Christian principles, as well as the Constitution, the Bill of Rights are all kind of derived from that. You don't have to believe in where they come from, but you have to at least appreciate the values and principles and protect those, because you understand that these are very, very important things. Likewise, you shouldn't just have a law that makes you believe in those. No, you have to have that separation of church and state as well, but we can all fall back and appreciate those and understand these need to be protected, and that we should also live by these things. Now, I could be completely off base, and please comment if you disagree, but I encourage you guys to rewatch the extended cut if you have 3 hours to do so. But yeah, it's definitely worth the rewatch. And it was a really fun movie for me to watch through that new lens of politics and faith. It was pretty cool. All right, until next time, I'm Ben Davies with The Real Rebel Review. All right, well, if you like this video and others like it, you should consider being a premium member to The Rebel. That way, you'll have first access to Pure Hollywood and the entire Rebel lineup. They're pretty good too.